You've all got glasses if you need them, have you? You can all
We
hear me
have,
okay?
thank you.
So you're all okay, you're all comfortable, ready to go. Right. Well, this is just a very quick introduction to Latin. What I propose to do is just to talk a little bit about the differences between English and Latin so you can see how they're constructed differently. And then we'll go on to a little bit of translation, try some simple sentences, some nice easy vocabulary, and you can have a go at actually translating some. Okay. Has anyone done any Latin before? Just a little bit, long time ago. So you'll probably find this is very familiar.
Yes.
So hopefully it'll be nice and easy for you. So what I'll start with is a nice simple English sentence to start with. So if we start off with, the boy loves the girl. Nice, easy sentence. And the structure of that is, we've got the subject, if I can fit it in, subject, then we have the verb, and then we have the object.
Yeah.
And that's the normal English construction. Yep. Now if I try that in Latin, it comes out as puer, puellam, amat. That's the boy, the girl, he loves. So you can see an instant
so it's
difference.
different, yeah.
So you instantly have subject, object,
and then
verb.
yeah,
So there's that very clear difference in the normal word order. Now if I swap round our nouns here, I'll use the same words but in a different order. The girl loves the boy. And you'll agree with me, that now means something different.
yes.
We've still got subject, verb, object. So that construction, that is identical. English word order is very fixed. The grammar, the grammatical meaning, lies in the word order. If I were to swap round the nouns in the Latin sentence, however, and put puellam, the girl, puer, the boy, amat, he loves, that still means the boy loves the girl. So you've now got object, subject, verb, but it still means the boy
The same
loves the
thing.
girl, even though you put it in a different order. Now if I move the English around even more and put loves the boy, the girl, I think you'll agree that's not English anymore.
No.
You've now got nonsense. So you can see how strict the English word order is and how the grammar depends on that word order. And if you get things out of order, you end up with something that means something different or something that means nothing at all and it becomes nonsense. So we'll just scrub that out because it's meaningless. Now if I do this with the Latin, I put the verb first. I do loves the boy, the girl. That still means the boy loves the girl. But you've just got a different order. You've got verb, subject, object.
Could you say this again, bottom one?
Amat, puer, puellam. Loves the boy, the girl. But if you translate it into
Yeah,
English,
yeah.
grammatically,
Yeah.
that still means the boy loves
Yeah.
the girl. And indeed I could swap those again and put amat, puellam, puer, and it still means the boy loves the girl. So, wherein lies the difference in the grammar? How do we make it different? If I translate the girl loves the boy into Latin, we have puella, puerum, amat. The girl, the boy, she loves.
Ah,
So can you see where the difference
Yeah.
lies between
the
that
girl
and
is coming
that?
first. And yeah,
Where's the difference?
the end of the words are
Exactly,
different.
yes, exactly. When puella is the object, we have, Latin is what's called an inflected language. So the grammar lies in the endings of the nouns and the verbs. So what we have is we call a stem, and with girl, it's puel. That's the bit that tells you it's the girl.
Right.
So that ending, am, is what tells you she's the object in that sentence. In this sentence, we have exactly the same stem, puel, that tells you it's the girl. But now, she's just got an A rather than am, and that's what tells you she's the subject of the verb.
Yeah.
And with boy, as it happens, he doesn't have an ending. We just have the stem puer, and that tells you he's the subject of the verb. But when he becomes the object of the verb, we have the stem puer, and he gains that. So that's the key difference to take away, that the word order is, it can be whatever it is. That is the normal standard word order, subject, object, verb, but it can be in any order because the meaning is in the endings. And it isn't just nouns, it's also the endings of the verbs. So with amat, you've got your stem, ama, and that tells you it's the verb to love, okay? And that T tells you that it's he loves, or it can be she loves, or it can be it loves. And you may have come across amat, because I think everyone knows the little rhyme of the present tense of the verb to love. Amo, amas, amat, amamas, amatis, amant.
Yes.
Amo is I love, amas is you love, singular, and amat is he, she, or it loves. And you'll know which one it is from the context of the subject that's given to you. Okay, so that's the key difference in the structure. But there are other differences, things that are in the English that aren't in the Latin. Can anyone else tell me something that appears in the English sentences?
The article.
Exactly, yeah. English has an article. With our nouns, we use a definite article, the, or an indefinite article, a or an. But Latin doesn't bother with them at all.
No.
And it's not something you need to worry about, because as you translate, you'll quite naturally supply an article of some description because it's so automatic in English. So you don't need to think about it, you'll just do it, but it's just interesting to note. There is something else as well about the beginnings of the sentences. Anything else you can spot on there? And it's a punctuation thing rather than a
Well,
language
it's
thing.
saying that
I can't see anything.
there's no capitals.
Exactly, yeah. English, we start sentences with capital letters.
You got it right there.
You did, it was well spotted. But Latin, we use
It's
a
just
lowercase,
like-
yeah. They only use capital letters for proper nouns, for people's names,
Yeah.
or for the town's names and things like that.
Like
So
yes, yeah.
So you'll see that when we get onto a bit of Latin. So those are the key things. Word order is fixed in English and it determines grammar. Word order is not fixed in Latin and grammar is determined by the endings. Okay?
Yeah.
So why don't you turn to the first page of your handout there, and we'll have a little look at the first vocabulary. So in this section, we're going to be introducing certain characters, and their names are Caecilius. Sorry, this is a bit stuck, isn't it? There we go. Caecilius, Metella, Quintus, Grumio, Clemens, and Cerberus. And these are the nouns we're going to come across. Pater means the father, Mater means the mother, Filius the son, Coccus the cook, Servus is the slave, and Canis is the dog. And we're going to come across another verb, the verb to be, est, which again, like amat, has that T ending, and it can be he, she, or it is.
That's not unlike French either.
Indeed. Well, French obviously evolved out of
And
Latin, so you
Latin,
see
yes,
those real
yes.
similarities, yes.
And of course the posh boys at schools, you know, like Harrow and that would say Peter and Meter.
And that's the interesting thing, we say Martha and Pater or Mater and Pater,
Yeah.
but they don't rhyme. Because pater has a short A and mater
Has a long
has a long A, so they don't actually rhyme.
No.
And you hear people
No,
making them rhyme and
I
they
know.
don't. Yes, that's quite right. So if we look at the first sheet there, and you'll see the heading is familiar. Can anyone tell me what word they think that might be? Family. Exactly, that is where family is derived from. Actually, in Latin, it means something closer to household, because it doesn't just mean your family members
No.
as in your blood relatives.
Yeah.
It's also, exactly, it's everyone who's in the
Everyone
house
in
with
the
you,
house,
all your
yeah.
servants as well, your cooks, your maids,
It's a very
whatever.
large dog cam. because
It is a very
comes up
scary-
past nearly to his shoulders.
It is quite a big, fierce-looking dog. So anyway, with this section is going to introduce the members of this household then. So if I do the first sentence, and then we'll take it in turns to do the others. So sentence number 1 is Caecilius est pater, which means simply Caecilius is the
The
father.
father.
So Brenda, do you want to do the next one, which is
Metella
Metella
est
est mater?
Mater.
Yeah. Yeah, and how do you translate that?
Metella is the mother.
Exactly, yeah, quite right. Sandra, do you want to do Quintus est filius?
Quintus est filius, and it means Quintus is the son.
That's quite right. And number 4, Beryl, Clemens est servus.
Number 4.
Yeah,
I beg
sorry.
your pardon.
Yeah, they look out of order, don't they, oddly?
Yes, they
Clemens
do.
est servus, number 4.
It means he's the servant.
Yeah,
That's right. Clemens is the servant, quite right. And Valerie, Grumio est corpus. Grumio is the cook, exactly. And I'll do the last one again since we've come around the circle. Cerberus est canis. Cerberus is the dog. Quite right. And if you turn over the page, and we'll have a look at the next bit, where we're now coming on to where these people are in the house. So we have the places in the house. In tablino means in the study. In atrio means in the atrium. And we say atrium in English when we translate it from atrium in the Latin because there isn't an equivalent in English. The atrium was a very public space in the house. It was a reception room, and you'd meet guests there, you might meet business partners there, you might have political meetings there, and it wasn't a private area, it was a very, very public area, and we don't have an equivalent in our houses today, so we just translate atrium as atrium.
Schools, I know a school that's got an atrium.
It is a word we use, yeah,
Yes.
but they're not, but in our houses
No.
we don't, but yeah, we still use the word atrium in
Yes.
other contexts, yes. In triclinio, in the dining room, in horto, in the garden, in culina, in the kitchen, and in via, in the street. So should we try this next section? Caecilius est in tablino, Brenda. So
You want me to say that one?
No, you don't need to say the Latin, just give me the translation, that's fine.
Who's in the study?
Exactly, Caecilius is in the
Caecilius.
study.
Caecilius, do you say? Or
Caecilius, that's correct,
Caecilius,
yes. Yeah.
Caecilius.
C's are actually hard in Latin. We tend to name Cicero,
Yeah.
but that's an anglicised way of saying it. It would have been
Right.
Cicero.
Okay.
And I've said Cerberus as well because that's our anglicised way of that,
Yes.
using that name,
Yes.
but it should be Cerberus. But
Yeah.
I don't mind using the anglicised versions where there are anglicised versions.
Thank you.
Sandra,
Metella est in, is that atrio or artrio?
technically it's Artrio,
Artrio.
yes. I'm not
So-
too worried about it,
No,
about
he's
pronunciation.
in the atrium.
Metella, she is in the atrium.
Oh, she
yes.
is,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
sorry.
And Beryl Quintus est in triclinio.
He is in the bedroom, dining room.
The dining room.
Right.
It looks like he's in the bedroom because in the picture he's lying down, but that was the way they ate.
That's how they did.
They used to
They did,
recline.
didn't they?
Yeah, when they were
Yeah.
having their
And I
posthumous.
thought he's not in the bedroom, and I hadn't looked up there.
No, that is the civilised way to eat if you're a Roman. There is a sheet.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's got a
I'm
sheet.
sorry, I should have mentioned. I've got the vocab there
Yes, well,
for, so you can have it next to it.
Mm. But I was just working which one I was going to have on.
Yes.
I can't
So
work.
Valerie, Clemens est in horto.
Oh, he's in the garden.
Clemens is in the garden,
Yes.
exactly. Number 11, Grumio est in culina. Grumio's in the kitchen, and that brings you back round to the dog Cerberus.
Where is
that
he?
Brenda?
He's there. Is
In
he
Via?
outside? In the street?
Street.
Yes.
Very good, Brenda. You guessed that without even looking.
Well, the
I thought
pictures
that's what
are
you're
quite
supposed
useful
to
actually.
Yeah.
The pictures do give you a help actually, give you a clue if you're
Yes.
struggling with it. So next we're going to move on to a few verbs and what they're doing in these places. So we have scribit, which again all of these apply to he, she and it. So scribit, writes, sedet, sits. Why have I got writes there? I do beg your pardon.
I don't
I
know.
lost the
Plot.
plot, as you say.
Sits.
Sits, bibit, drinks, laborat, works, and dormit, sleeps. So if I do the first one, pater est in tablino, pater in tablino scribit. So the father is in the study,
Study.
and the father is
Is
writing
writing
in the study.
In the study.
And you'll see him there with his tablet and stylus.
Yes.
Not an electronic one,
No.
it's a wax tablet
Yes.
and a little scratching marker to make
Yeah.
marks in the
Yes.
wax.
Well,
Brenda.
mother is in the atrium,
That's right, yeah.
and she's also in the.
She's still in the
She's-
atrium, but
Look at the
sedet.
verbs.
Yes. Mater in atrio sedet. Mater
Oh, and she writes.
in the atrium.
Oh, sits. Sorry.
That's right, yeah. And she's sitting there looking a bit bored and
Yes.
frustrated. I don't think she has very
No,
much to do,
she's-
poor woman.
She's forgot to put her phone on
Yes.
charge.
Brenda.
Okay, Sandra. Filius est in triclinio.
He's, where the heck is he? In the dining room.
That's right.
And he is drinking in the dining room.
That's right, he is, yep. Beryl, can you do servus est in porto?
He's in the garden,
Yeah,
and he is working in the garden.
that's right. The slave is working in the garden.
Slave.
Yeah. So the next one,
Yes,
coquus
so
est in
coquus.
culina.
So he's in the kitchen, and he is working in the kitchen.
That's right. And coquus was,
Cockers.
coquus is,
Him.
Cook.
Oh, he's the cook.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right. His name's Grumio, but he is the cook.
That's it.
Okay, and I'll do the last one then. Our dog, who was looking very gruff before. Canis est in via. Canis in via dormit. The dog is in the street, and the dog is sleeping in the street. Okay, and that's as far as we go with our little Latin sentences. So if you want to turn over your handout so you can't cheat, and we'll just have a little test,
Oh,
see how much you've remembered. And you go, Kath?
this one. This one we got.
Yeah, turn it all
Both of
over
them.
so we can't cheat. So start off with, can we remember any of those three differences, main differences between English and Latin? Somebody give me a difference between the construction.
The construction of the sentence in English would be with a definite article,
That's correct,
an
yeah.
object, a verb, and a subject.
Other way round, subject, verb, object.
Sorry.
But yes, that's
Yeah.
correct, yeah. And it has the definite article or an indefinite article, and that's the fixed
yes.
word order. In Latin, there's no definite article and the word order is not fixed. And if you remember, the word order dictates the grammar in English.
Mhm.
What's dictating the grammar in the Latin? Because it isn't the word order. Where's the grammar?
In. I can't remember.
No, I can't remember.
It's in the endings. Do you remember
That's
those
it.
different
Oh,
endings
that's it,
for whether
yes.
they're subject
Forgotten
or
about
object?
that. Yes,
Yeah.
the endings.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, they have different
Endings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hang on to the little bit I can remember.
So let's try and remember the.
It'd probably be better than that.
Oh, there was one other, wasn't there?
You've
There's one
turned
other
it over
difference.
so we can't
No,
see it.
yeah, exactly. Well, there's one other difference between the
No
English and Latin.
capital letters.
That's
Yes.
quite
That's
right.
the one bit. I didn't want you to mess me up by saying
Yes,
some other things.
No, that's quite right, except for the names
Yes,
of the people,
yes.
there's no capital letters. Okay, so what about vocab? Can anyone tell me what amat means?
to love.
Isn't to love?
No.
Love.
So it's not a
Loves.
verb.
Loves, exactly. He, she or it loves.
Loves.
To love would be amare. Do you remember that from many years ago?
amare,
That would be,
amare.
it would be the infinitive is
Yeah.
amare.
Yeah.
But amat is he loves
Is.
or she loves or it
Or it
loves.
loves.
Can anyone
Yes.
remember what in the garden would be in Latin?
In horto.
In horto. Well done. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay. And what's the word for dog?
Canis.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done, canis.
Canis.
And the word for mother
Meta.
or martyr.
Martyr.
Technically,
Martyr.
it's the long A. Martyr.
Martyr.
Yeah. And can anyone remember the word for he is working?
Something like that.
Labour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you remember what the ending is? For he, she, and it, the ending on the verb is always a... It was always a
T.
Yeah, T, exactly.
T,
So,
yeah.
laborat.
Ah, yes,
Okay.
yes.
I've done pretty well remembering that, so thank you very much, ladies. That's the end of the lesson. Thank you for your time and your
Oh,
attention.
that's brilliant.
All right.
Thanks,
Getting into it.
I
We're just
know.
getting into
Well,
it.
we'll practice tomorrow morning while we walk in the dog. Bring your papers.
I'll bring the papers.
If you want to keep the handouts, if you're interested.
Maybe, I'd like
Yeah.
to.
Because she'd love to test me.